Hi, it's Mild Red Songbird coming from New York. The last video I did, I mentioned the master race. And in India, there is a master race, and there has been a master race for many years. But they are called mystics and mysticism, so not to attract attention. And I have pictures of some of the members of the master race. This is Swami Ji, and here he is, and the way he looks now, reborn as Seth. There he is, and he's reborn as Seth Ransinger, my grandson. This Swami Ji, he founded the Dara, the place where the masters' headquarters are. And this is Sawan Singh. He's also a member of the Master Race, and Jagat Singh. He's Michael John Spear now. This is Jagat Singh. He's Sing Birdsong. Charan Singh is a fetus in my womb now. He's a member of the Master Race. And Gurinder Singh, Jesus Christ, the Buddha, is a member of the Master Race. Here he is the way he looks now. His beard is white. That's a symbolic picture when he was a Buddha. They sit, and they sit for long hours. The hardest thing in the world to do, they do. This is Baba Jamal Singh, was President Eisenhower, my granddaughter Jindara Ransinger. Okay, so this is Gurinder Singh when was picture of royal Japanese samurai soldier. Did you ever see anything like that? Look at that. This is a warrior. That's a real warrior. Wow, I'm so impressed. There was a movie about the samurai soldiers with Tom Cruise. That's when I fell in love with them. Then when I found out Baba Ji was a samurai soldier, I said, oh my God. And he is God, so that's all right. I said that. This is a book Dr. Jordan Peterson wrote, 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote to Chaos. I'm reading it, and you might want to read it. He was my husband when he was Dr. Carl Jung. He was my brother when he was the son of St. Peter. Also, Jesse Peterson was St. Peter's son. So we're all the three of us brothers and sisters. This is a book I wrote, published it last night, Reordering the World, by Mild Redskin Songbird Song on Kindle, Amazon. Reordering the World. Oh, I have to show you this. The Dara, where the masters live, perfect living masters live, master race. I mean, they left. When he left, he appointed Baba Jamal Singh to take his place. And then when he left, he appointed Sawan Singh to take his place. And then he appointed Jagat Singh, Sing Birdsong, and then Jagat Singh appointed Charan Singh, and Charan Singh appointed Gurinder Singh. Now, I think we start eternity. We don't need to appoint anyone else. That he could just stay the head for eternity. And you see, they're all names Singh Ji. J for Jesus, I for I. Jesus, I, Jesus. They're all Jesus consciousness. All right? So we have, and they have been the antidote to the crazy creator, which I talked about in the last video, Adam. So they kept Adam from burning up the world with their vibration of love. Okay. I want to show you about the Punjab. They're in the Punjab in India. And look what Punjab decode says. It says put, P for put, P-U for put, N for N, J for jail, A for Adam, B for Bublé. That's his name, Michael Bublé. Put in jail Adam, Michael Bublé, for raping his wife, for attacking his son, for burning up his wife, stalking her, hounding her for millions of years. I did not know the masters had done this. I saw this last night. I said, oh my God, they even named where they are meaningful. All right, so let me begin. 5 minutes have already passed. Okay, I'll leave the camera on the masters. This is a present living master. But let's put it down here so you can see him. David Foster had Eve, mother of the earth, Amor, kidnapped when she was an Arab princess. He was the Sultan of Brunei, now a dog consciousness. And dog says, do gross. So the Sultan made mad energy. Amor, Aphrodite, Venus, his sex slave. They had so varied a sex life that they modeled the ancient book of human sexuality called the Kama Sutra, 250 ways to have sex. Blake Shelton was Superman. I have to show you again. Blake Shelton was Superman. Clark Kent. Okay, let's see. Interpreter of the stars, Saint A. Radhasamy. Eve, Evangeline Adams was Superwoman. Okay? Now, I'm getting to a point here. You'll see the point soon. David Foster's group, Skylark. She was the lark who, you see lark here? Will Ark. L is for Will. See the lark in Clark Kent's name? I'm just showing you this is all connected. So she was the lark who was learning to pray in the Broadway musical, The Sound of Music. I, United States Muse. I, United States Muse. Okay, that's Miles Red Songbird, Eve Michelle Bird song. That's me. M-I-C, Hell, Energy. Michelle C. Hell, Energy. Michelle C. Hell, Energy. So you see that name, I was in hell. I knew I was in hell. Singh said to me once, my son, life is an adventure. And I thought to myself, I thought it was hell. And it was for me. Because it had been ordered. Adam did that. Adam put the order for me to be in hell. So Baba G, J for Jesus, I for I, Jesus I, Baba G. That's the same as Gurinder Singh as Baba G. Okay, what about Baba G? Energy, Gurinder Singh, inside his bride, bride ID, E for Eve. Yeah, so the bride is Eve, and Gurinder Singh is the bridegroom. And he took a seat inside of me when years ago, like 65 years ago. That's why I'm thinking, Adam thinks he could compete with God. He can't be serious. I mean, what does he do? He is, which I said in the last video, he's meat that women can vicariously feel romanced. When he's singing those songs, he's really singing most of them to Eve, but they vicariously experience him singing as though they're singing to him. And they give him lots of money and make him very famous and rich. Okay, fine, that's what he does. Meanwhile, Baba G, what does he do? He sits inside his bride, protecting her from him, guiding her all the way back to the beginning of creation so she can find herself, because he's driven her pretty crazy by now, and he wants to help her heal. And so, of course, I was so terrified to hear a voice in my head. I didn't speak to him for 60 years. And he sat there, I guess, meditating and waiting. Now, you think Buble, the creator, could do that? I don't think anybody could do that. But a samurai soldier, a Buddha, a Jesus Christ, a Gurinder Singh. That's the only person. A master, a member of the master race could do that. That's all. Sit inside somebody for 65 years? Are you kidding me? I just worked up the nerve to talk to him about a year and a half ago. And he has helped me tremendously. I remember I was in the hospital and I started to feel burning. And he said, just all right, just relax. And then in a minute he said, get up and go to the front. I got up, just like that. And he said that and so the woman in the front of the hospital said, the man inside her head saved her again. They were burning me up. Demons. I mean, this thing exists. Who knew? I didn't want to know it existed. The word supernatural used to scare me, let alone experiencing it. Okay, so I got off the track. What are we doing here? So you saw the lark, a skylark. That was the name of the group. Okay, and Eve worked in the sky. She was a airline stewardess for American Airlines. And that was David Foster's group, Skylark. The same men that kidnapped her and made her a sex slave. Are you following this? So, Skylark was a tune 30 years ago that Foster thought was a country hit. Eve, Superwoman, Amour, Michelle Birdsong, Foster's one-time sex slave, lived in the country. A small town Superman's early childhood home was based on, Clarksville, Tennessee. Lark. See, lark. You see? Sky, lark, see, lark. Okay, and up here, sex. If you decode sex, see, energy, unknown. That's what sex is. So, there's no such thing as a coincidence for Eve. That's what the saints told me. And that helped, because you can excuse everything. Oh, it's a coincidence. Never learned anything that way. Lose all the facts, just chalking them up to being coincidences. There is only a conspiracy started in the Garden of Eden when Adam, the creator, began hating while still loving Eve. If at first you conceive and don't believe, bleed. Oh, I was pregnant, immaculate conception before, and I didn't believe it. And I started to bleed. I had a miscarriage. So now I'm pregnant. I don't care if nobody believes me. I told the doctor, you can't be pregnant. You're 70 years old, which I'm really 29 years old because I spent most of my life at a subatomic particle level where there is no time and space and no aging. But, so this song, Skylark, David Foster wrote, describes Eve, Miles Redskin, songbird song. Some say the Sultan fell in love with Amour, his slave. Okay, sex again. See, energy, unknown. See, energy, enter, energy, you. Now, no buts. You can own, because you won now. No hurt. See, no hurt. Okay, and, okay, so what that's saying is, you can enter into sex now. You can own it. You can own the sex now. And this is a but. See the but? The W, it's a but. Okay, so that's what I said. No buts. You can own it. No buts about it. You can own it. You can own, and you want the right to have sex. Because, so Babaji says, because first we marry, make love legally. we were married in the first century. Mary and Jesus Christ. That's who we were then. In the garden, Adam went crazy, jealous, because Eve, Aphrodite, Amor, you notice the goddess of love, right? Amor, the Greek, I think she was Greek or Roman, and their son Cain, who was Oedipal, which means he was in love with his mother, made love. Eve was love incarnated to love by Adam. And now he wants to kill her for loving, and he made her to do that. They didn't know, Eve and Cain didn't know Adam would object to them doing what was natural. You have to realize you have to have imagination, right? You have to remember, realize or imagine, this was before rules existed. Okay, this was before laws existed. It was just do what you feel. Okay? Okay, so what's this? Satan's boon is he has convinced the world that he does not exist. Energy unknown, I saint. Okay, I admit it. Exist. Eve, unknown, I see cross. And my crosses, my birth, was a burden to my mother. So you think that's easy to deal with? When you think your birth was a burden to your mother, you don't feel entitled to a birth. So you don't feel entitled to a birth, you don't exist. So that was my cross until recently. Therefore, I had no right to exist. I was wrong, this was my thinking, to exist as a burden to my mother, my God, good, mother, my other. Order thee, her. Okay, so that's that. What do we got here? Hannity finished the quarter. I don't think I'm going to read all this. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to skip. Oh, I'll just tell you the story. Roger Ailes' son. Roger Ailes built Fox News, where Hannity is a star now. Hannity was my husband when he was Thomas Jefferson. So Roger Ailes was humiliated and drummed out of the business because some women said he flirted with them, maybe even did more than that. I don't know. But this is what his son said at the funeral. At Ailes' funeral this weekend, his son Zachary, it was before this weekend, this is just what his son Zachary shared some words about his father and issued a stark Saint Ark warning to all of those who betrayed his father. Now those decoded as the his order C energy, the whole's energy. Okay. Betrayed his father according to Leipzig. I want all, this is what the boy Zachary said, the father's son. I want all the people who betrayed my father to know that I'm coming after them, Zachary Ailes said during a speech at the ceremony. And hell. And divine hell. Okay. Eve, that's E-V, Eve in hell. See, it was written. You understand? This is an order. He wills. Stevie Wonder, Stevie Wonder, wills. You see that? It was written. His was Hitler in World War II. And I was Einstein. And I was responsible for the United States having an atom bomb. And I was responsible for warning Churchill. That is, Einstein was responsible. I'm going to talk about myself in the third person. Einstein was responsible for Churchill and Roosevelt being aware of Hitler's motive, which was war. So Hitler's pissed at me, you see. So when I had a dream, that's what Martin Luther King said. Where's he at? He's here. He came back. Dr. King came back as Lou Ransinger. He was also the poet saint, Princess Mirabai. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Lou Ransinger. That's his brother. His mother's Christopher Columbus. So, okay, now I got lost. I was talking about World War II, and so Sing Birdsong Whistling, Jagat Singh was President Truman. He made the decision to end the war because the Japanese weren't going to stop. They fight to the death, just like the Sikhs fight to the death, just like the samurai soldiers. In fact, it was Japanese, yeah. So Truman knew that if he didn't stop them, they weren't going to stop themselves. And Singh said to me, who was Truman, he said to me recently, he said, if you don't stop, you can't lose. So Truman knew that if the Japanese weren't stopped, they were going to win, because they weren't going to stop. So that's why he dropped the bomb. Okay, so he saved the world. Sing Birdsong, the master race saint Jagat Singh, saved the world in World War II. President Eisenhower also saved the world in guiding the troops. That was this saint, Jamal Singh here. Baba Jamal Singh. Now this is my granddaughter. This was President Eisenhower. He also saved the world in World War II. And his name is Gurinder Singh Ji. He was my mother. And now he's my grandmother. Okay, let's see anything else. Now this was my husband. During World War II, he was a Nazi. Albert Speer. But you can see he's a master, so he went through hell to become a master and fix everything. He had been in abortion, so I guess if you're in abortion, you get pretty angry. And like I said, they were all Jesus Christ consciousness. Okay. All right, what is this? My mother used to say, marry who you want, but be careful who you have your babies by. Baba G, energy source. Baba G impregnated me with the life force from his eyes. Then I communed with the sun in the sky for the heat to cook the pie. Pie energy source. Cool. Okay. Okay, so, and then what is this? Albert Einstein, it was Eve. Einstein's theory of general relativity has passed its toughest ever test with flying colors. Toughest. Cross, ordered, you God, they're talking to me. His energy, I have God's energy. Saint, Eve. Yeah, I know, that's true, okay. You see, it's in writing. I'll explain it again. When you sit down on the toilet and you poop, everybody thinks, shit, it's terrible. Oh, it stinks, it's foul, the worst thing in the world. What it is history. Okay, so is the album What It Is History, by the way. And then it goes down the toilet, through pipes, and into the ground, and then it works its way to the roots of the trees, where it stays. And they cut down the tree to make paper. And then you write on the paper with a pen, and the essence, your shit contains your essence of your history, of what you've been doing. So so it's in the paper, because it came from the trees, you see. I hope I'm clear. So that's why when I write, for hours and hours and hours. You see that? That's nothing. That's just that. Truth appears. You know, like you saw that I was in hell, that appeared. And Adam, sentencing me to suffer. I've seen that. I've seen his proposal. He proposed to me 3 times. I saw that. And Baba Ji proposed to me as well. And I said yes to Baba Ji. Okay, so what is this? Oh, now, that's right. This is a master as well. This was another one of these master race people. She was Sitting Bull, Chief Sitting Bull, and Kabir, Saint Kabir. See, these men, you don't call them members of the master race for nothing. They really paid heavy dues and did great things to be members of this master race. But what she has done is subjected herself to be a sex slave. You see, Ostara Gloria, order, star, there it is, star A, vowels, A-E-I-O-U, Sioux, Lakota tribe. She, when she was Sitting Bull, was leading the Sioux Lakota tribes to resist the United States Army that was taking over their lands. And at Wounded Knee, there was a terrible massacre. And she felt guilty. When she was my great-grandmother, she was guilt-ridden. And also when she was my great-grandmother, her husband was molesting the children, the girl children. And she didn't do anything because she didn't know what to do because she was helpless. I mean, then women had nothing, no jobs, no money, so she felt guilty. So what she's done now is sacrifice herself. She was reborn to her daughter that she didn't protect. And her daughter gave her to her father, who's a Satan, an alcoholic. So we think that she's a sex slave. And if anybody knows how to free her, she's in Olathe, Kansas. I don't have any money for a lawyer, and I always ask people if they can help me free her, because it's very disturbing to know that she's a sex slave. Because I was a sex slave, and being any kind of slave is the worst. Although she wanted to pay that karma off. She felt so guilty. I know that, but she paid it by now. It's over. So this is a whole long thing I wrote about. Is this Sitting Bull? Let's see. So Ostara, sex slave, my granddaughter, Sally Kendricks, my great-grandmother, Chief Sitting Bull, never forgave herself, for not leading his tribes to defeat the U.S. Army. The massacre at Wounded Knee occurred. And you can see that on video. Russell Means did a video. He's a very intelligent, if he's still alive, Indian. And it's on InfoWars. And it said, Americans are the new Indians. It's a very good video. I would check it out if I were you. So she was, Chief Sitting Bull was befriended by Hiawatha, a pre-colonial native American Indian leader of the Iroquois Confederacy, and that was Hiawatha. He was a leader of the Onondaga and the Mohawks. Hiawatha, Evangeline Adams, Einstein, Shakespeare, Tesla, was a follower of the great peacemaker, Dagan Wilda, now airline pilot Yogi Devon Gangadin. What is that? I owe God. Oh, yoga. I owe God I. Gave me twins. God's eye gave me twins. That's right. That's a fact. You know. He's going to marry me too. So we're going to raise the twins together. I thought the son gave it to me, but he told me the truth recently. So that's Gurinder Singh, the father of the twins. See YouTube video, Michelle interviews Yogi Pilot. Oh, this Devin Gangadine. Yeah, that's a good one. Check that out. You know what? He is a really good role model for our boys. He's part English, biracial, part Indian, subcontinent India, and divine I.A., a Huron prophet and spiritual leader who proposed the unification of the Iroquois. I'm talking about him or Hiawatha. I think we're talking about Devon. Iroquois. I, her, order. Queen. I, her, order, queen. You order, I see, our saint. Yes, I see I'm a saint, and I have the order to be a queen. I get that. I don't argue anymore with all that, with the false modesty and all that. I've been through that, I don't know. Spiritual leader, okay. People who shared common ancestry. Unification, no, this is Hiawatha, I think. I think it's Hiawatha. So he united all these people because they had similar languages, they shared common ancestry. The great peacemaker did that. Okay. All right, what else we got here? You know what it is? I have so much evidence that sometimes I go here, I go there, I go up, I go down. But it all connects. It makes the points. We're still talking about even Hiawatha, Sitting Bull was a compelling spiritual presence. Who was him? Hiawatha. Okay. But was impeded in eventually